All right, everybody, guess what? We're back.
Not most of us.
Well, most of us, not all of us, but hey, we're back nonetheless, and it didn't take us 4 months to record a second show.
Unfortunately, the milk carton we tried didn't bring anybody that we thought back.
I think social media has taken over the missing podcast members on milk carton bit. But regardless, Nathan and I are here, and Carrie's here with us, playing with her phone, but hi. Carrie is here. She's taking a break from going M&M and cleaning out her closet.
That's pretty good.
I think my phone's ringing. I think 2003 wants their shit back, but still, we're back, and a little bit to talk about today. We got some interesting things coming up, and by the way, this is the 546 project. Welcome back. And like I said, a few things to talk about. Nathan, where do you want to?
Well, do you want to talk about your biggest gripe today? We're going to talk about the championship games.
Shock and awe, I have something to complain about. This is Championship Sunday in the NFL. We've had 2 games. We're currently
1.5, technically.
1.5, because we're currently in the midst of the Chiefs versus the Patriots, and they're just getting underway in the third quarter.
Well, not just yet, but yeah, they're going to get there here.
Yeah, we're getting ready to start the third quarter, and at the half, Nathan,
it's 14-0 Patriots.
14-0 Patriots. I'm really let down. I thought, not that a lot can happen in the second half. Don't get me wrong, but I was hoping the Chiefs would have a stronger showing.
Well, a lot that has to happen is the Chiefs have to block.
Well, yeah,
it helps if Patrick Mahomes is upright when he throws the ball.
And to score points, you definitely have to hold on to the ball. The Patriots have pretty much dominated the first half.
The time of possession is clearly in their favor.
Yeah, so as it stands right now, it's looking like it's going to be the Patriots in the Super Bowl against the winner of the first game today, contested between the Rams and Saints. And unfortunately, the Rams went on to beat the Saints in overtime. What was the final?
It's 26-23.
26-23. And I say unfortunately under protest. Let me start. Look, Angel's even upset.
The cat is protesting
too. The cat's even angry. She's holding up signs and everything. I have nothing against the Rams. Let me start off by saying that. But it's the way it happened today. And Nathan can give you a little bit more in-depth detail of what happened. But there was a play before the half, wasn't it?
No, it was almost at the end of the game that this happened.
Oh, go ahead.
So the Saints had the ball at about, I don't know, the Rams' 10-yard line, and they went for a pass, and the Rams player hit the Saints player before the pass got there. Oh, not only that, he hit him with his helmet, so you could have called 2 different penalties on that play, yet there were 0 penalties.
A blatant foul. It was obvious to everyone. The commentators are calling it. The fans are booing it in the stands. It was a blatant foul, a blatant penalty, and just nothing. Nothing called. And I looked at Nathan and I said, now watch the Rams going to win, and then I'm going to protest. And sure enough, the Saints had to kick a field goal, and the game was tied, and it went into overtime, and disaster struck if you're a Saints fan, and the Rams went on to win.
I mean, if you're one of these people that predicate if one play goes bad, then anything that happens in the rest of the game just doesn't matter.
I apparently am one of those people.
I guess.
Because I hate to see it happen like that, because there is going to be a big question mark there. I mean, you can't look at that win and say, well, I mean, if that didn't happen, that happens in sports all the time. I can just hear Kevin now. That kind of thing happens all the time. That happens in sports. I just hate to see it go down that way. That's just me.
Essentially, you could have had a higher percentage that the Saints would have scored a touchdown during that drive than had to settle for a field goal.
Now, if this had been like a Cleveland Browns game or something like that, it was kind of sketchy, but the Saints being the Saints, odds are the smart money is on the fact they would have scored a touchdown. And they'd have won the game. They'd have won the game. They'd have went on to the Super Bowl. And, it also...
Then we would have had gumbo and jambalaya for a Super Bowl party.
Absolutely.
But you're going to have to settle for
now we can't.
Something completely different.
We're having stuffed avocados and friggin' clam cakes or something. I don't know. New England, there's a plethora of things. But
baked beans. I guess you get Boston baked
beans for dessert. What do you think we're stuffing the avocado?
No, you could do you could do regular baked beans.
Well, we could, but we're getting the Boston baked beans for the avocados. What do you think we're putting in them?
Oh yeah.
How's that for a video food box, folks?
Yeah.
Got some big news on that coming up a little bit later.
Right.
But, But yes, I mean, we're trying to think of something LA based, and Carrie suggested avocados. So
I mean,
I do
unless
hear they put them on everything out there.
unless you make like a copycat In-N-Out burger, that's about the only thing you could do.
But I mean, we're creative. We'll think of something. We'll definitely think of something. So
I've never had an In-N-Out burger because I've never really been in the state of California.
never been to the West Coast. Well, I was there as a kid, but I didn't know what In-N-Out burger was at that point. But,
Sounds a little raunchy myself.
I mean, In-N-Out just sounds like it sounds like another name for a quickie. I mean, that's hey. But I mean, hats off to the Rams. I like the Rams. Got nothing against them.
When you kick a 57-yard field goal to win the game, definitely
you've earned
that
it.
guy would have. Greg Zuerlein would have made it from 67.
Yeah, I mean, he earned it, definitely. I mean, hats off to them. Had they not been playing the Saints, I probably would have picked them. Because the Saints beat the Eagles. I don't know. I might have picked the Rams over the Eagles.
Before the playoffs started, I had picked the Saints and the Patriots to go to the Super Bowl and the Saints to win. So I guess
you're half right.
There's about 30 minutes left in this game,
Yeah,
so
I mean,
anything can happen.
No, there's a lot of football left. I mean, look at the first game. We all thought the Saints were going to win, but
the refs,
thanks to the officiating, the Rams won. Good for them. But
but do you remember another part of that Rams game where there was fourth down and they were at the 1 yard line? We thought they should have tried to go for the touchdown.
Yes.
Imagine if.
So that really could have been another thing, because who knows?
If they missed the touchdown, I mean, there's all these plays that happen during a game that make up the whole story of a game. It's not just the one play.
No, but it definitely hurts.
Yes.
And I mean, me being me and needing something to bitch about.
Well, a lot of people are going to go back to that play. They just because of human nature, and they always want to blame someone else for the shortcomings of whatever they have.
Very true. And you just hate to see it happen. I mean, that's, it is what it is. But, so...
Oh my gosh. He just threw a long pass.
Who did?
Pat Mahomes threw it to Sammy Watkins, and they're down at about the New England 11-yard line. So this could break the shutout.
Barring something unfortunate, it looks like the Chiefs are going to get some points on the board. I mean... Anything can happen in the NFL. The Rams proved that earlier today.
Well, the first time that the Rams and the Patriots played in the Super Bowl, the Patriots' defense for the first quarter was a camcorder.
When was that? What year was that?
It was the Kurt Warner years. It was 2000 and
was that 2002?
No, it was 2000. Yeah, well, it was 2001 season. So
yes,
2002.
in 02. Yes, yeah. I remember that. I do remember that.
Yeah, that was the Spygate game from. I mean, if you believe that they actually did record another update. Travis Kelce caught a touchdown pass, so it's 14-6 New England.
Good. At least they get some points on the board. We're not going to be looking at a shutout. So, I mean, I'm looking forward to the Super Bowl either way.
It's all about these halftime adjustments, and so far the Chiefs have lived up to actually doing something to adjust what they've been doing in the first two quarters. So.
As it stands now, I'm looking forward to a Rams-Chiefs Super Bowl.
And if the regular season matchup that they had on that Monday night was any indication, it would be a very good Super Bowl.
Yes. So I wasn't disappointed with last year's Super Bowl. Wasn't the prettiest game in the world, but I'll tell you, it was fun to watch.
I protested that Super Bowl and did not watch it. I still have not watched any of that game.
Wow.
Yeah. I think I'm not. I think I'm going to watch this year's Super Bowl. I mean, I can't hate on the Rams that much. Just if the Patriots get in, obviously I'll have a rooting interest.
Oh yeah, I mean
everybody besides the New England region and Louisiana will be rooting for the Patriots.
Plus, I mean, you
the
can't
Rams.
set and eat it. You can't eat a Boston baked bean stuffed avocado for no reason. I mean, it's got to be for the.
It's a Boston baked bean sandwich. A baked bean sub.
Oh, with avocado. Yes. Yeah. Oh, with a fancy roll with something with seeds.
I can't imagine the bathroom that night.
Oh, I don't want to think about it. Oh, but you mentioned you're protesting last year's Super Bowl. Something else you're protesting here being the WWE. We actually have it's not WWE related, but we do have some wrestling news to touch on as well.
Yes, a new federation has been announced by the founders, Cody Rhodes and the Young Bucks. Their tag team, it is All Elite Wrestling. All Elite Wrestling announced their formation in Jacksonville, Florida, where their investor, who is I believe the son of the owner of the Jacksonville Jaguars, that's where their money's coming in. So they announced some of their roster, and the biggest surprise came in for the All Elite Wrestling for the roster as
Y2J.
Chris Jericho is on the All Elite Wrestling roster.
This shocked me for a while.
You know?
I mean, he's always been a big WWE guy. Him and Vince apparently have a very good relationship. He did. I mean, Jericho's a class act, though. I read an interview that said he did let him know what was going on. He told him what he was doing, and he's kind of kept in contact with him through all the stuff because he did the stuff with New Japan here as of late with him and Kenny Omega. And I mean, he's kind of kept him updated on everything, but he almost went to Impact Wrestling. And I see them having to pay him more than everyone else.
He's kind of close with Don Callis, and that's part of how that came about.
You figure Jericho's been around a long time. Yeah. Even before he was in WWE. I mean, which happened in, 99? It was August of 99.
WCW.
Yeah, he was, WCW. He did some time in ECW, I believe. I mean, he's...
Smoky Mountain Wrestling was where he
Jericho's been around a long time. He's got a good working relationship with a lot of people, so... But hearing that he almost went to Impact was a big shock. Apparently, they put an offer on the table. He was going to consider it and consider what he could do there, and then this idea popped up. Very interesting. Cody and the Young Bucks. They did the All In show.
All In, and they've announced that their next, I guess, pay-per-view event is called Double or Nothing.
Yeah, I did see the name of it. There's nothing but good stuff to come for these guys.
They also have signed the former Neville.
Yes,
a pack.
Yes.
So that's another under the radar type of signing.
Never quite understood why he left WWE.
I think it had something to do with how the cruiserweight thing went
down.
I
think he was just unhappy with how he was being used, which, he was pretty high profile.
King of the cruiserweights.
Yeah, he was king of the cruiserweights.
I think he just kind of wanted more than that. And I don't really blame him.
No, you can't fault him for that.
Neville in NXT was against all these guys, not just cruiserweights.
Yeah,
so
I hate to say it, but 205 Live is pretty much their C show. It's not really. Everybody else gets 2 and 3 hours. They get an hour.
It's not even on
it's not even on
just
there.
On the network.
You have to have the network to get it, and I can see him wanting more. Honestly, I'm not surprised, but no, I think there's good things to come. The Young Bucks at one time were the hottest free agents in wrestling. WWE.
Apparently they put a huge offer in on them.
Everybody's wanted to get a hold of them.
I think they gave them an offer that included having the Being the Elite, that YouTube series, I guess, on the network. They had, they were going to pay him a lot of money, and
they're not interested. I don't think at any time they ever wanted to. I think they went up and did do a tryout match at one time, but from the way it sounds, they're quite happy doing what they're doing.
I think it comes down to the underlying theory that whenever you go to WWE and you make a name elsewhere, they kind of mess you up in some way. AJ Styles goes there and he's doing really well, so that's kind of the outlier in that.
It's all in how you're going to be used. How long are you going to be in NXT? How long would they have to wait?
But if you look at how they've done their tag team division here, in the past, I don't know, 20 years or something like that, it's kind of just an afterthought. You have some decent tag teams, don't get me wrong, but it's just not. It's just kind of usually a pre-show thing.
But look what happens with any of the tag teams. They go for a while. The good ones get the titles. They'll have a title run. They flounder around for it, and then they split them up. That's generally how it goes. And I don't think you're going to see the Young Bucks as single stars. Tag team wrestling is what they do.
No, there's no way.
So
they come as a package.
Exactly. So. And, some other signings, you mentioned them. They're looking at Jack
Swagger.
Mm-hmm. JR is going to be doing some of the commentating.
I heard another rumor that his broadcast partner may be Mike Tenay.
Interesting.
That would be an interesting name.
I've always liked Mike Tenay. I've always liked him.
I've also heard that Mike and Maria Kanellis have asked for their release from WWE, and they could be involved in this somehow.
There's some conflicting reports on that because apparently
they didn't grant their release.
Well, apparently Maria Kanellis went to Twitter and said that wasn't true.
Okay.
But the Revival, another WWE tag team,
read that one too.
To ask for their release, and supposedly Sasha Banks put out a tweet saying, "Take me with you." Which is kind of a shock because she's a big deal in the women's division.
Yeah, I don't really get that. I mean, I think...
And again, if it's true what she's saying, I mean, there could be some...
I think in a way, Sasha Banks has had really good, like, little runs here and there where she's had the title, but then she loses it. And now... I guess she's kind of going to be in that women's tag team thing, which is another thing we can talk about. Yeah, that's
something else to announce. WWE has recently announced... Actually, they announced it on Raw, which was kind of cool during...
the Moment of Bliss.
During the Moment of Bliss, that they are indeed bringing out the WWE Women's Tag Division. Unveiled the new belts and everything, so that should definitely be interesting, just depending on how many... teams they decide to come up with.
Well, it's going to be one of those things where it's not brand specific, it looks like. It's going to be both brands.
Which I've always thought that's the way to do it.
For either of the tags?
For any of the titles. Okay. I don't know why you have to have two champions. I said this back when they did the brand split, back the first time, back in 2001?
Well, they have to have two world champions because one of them doesn't even show up on their show, right?
No, that's a rant. That's a whole other rant. Don't even get me started.
Yeah,
on the
I know.
Deal. But
I know.
I've always just thought there should only be one champion. You could have a champion be able to go from show to show, and that could be with any of the champions. You know, you'd obviously still keep it in such a way where, like, the Intercontinental title stays on one show, but it doesn't necessarily always have to be Raw.
The thing is, they've done away with the brand-specific pay-per-views.
Which is good. I like the pay-per-view formula right now.
I think they're actually not too bad of a list of possible women's tag teams that are out there, I guess. I mean, Bayley and Sasha Banks being the number one team, I guess you could say. The Riot Squad would be another one.
Well, and with the Riot Squad, you've got a possibility. I mean, you've got, a combination of teams.
They could be, basically a new day, if you will, of that. In that, Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
The Iconics would be another one.
I don't know if they're necessarily a team anymore, but you could have.
They have an alliance. They still have an alliance.
There's still that absolution there. You've got Nia Jax with Tamina here as of late.
They're on separate. They're on separate shows, right?
Tamina's on Raw.
Oh, they are.
Yeah, it's kind of where she's resurfaced here as of late.
I guess Natalya could be in this in some way. Right
now, she's kind of palling around with Ronda Rousey. So I mean, you could go that route if Ronda drops the. I can't see her holding two titles. I can't.
No.
Not enough in the division to support that right now. No. But I like the idea. Overall, I like where it's going. It's got potential. So a lot of big things going on. This All Elite Wrestling, from what I heard, there are some cable companies possibly interested.
What are you going to do, cable system?
That's right. I'm going to go back. What are you going to do, cable system? That's something else to talk about too, Hogan, here in a minute. But
yeah,
looking forward to seeing what the future holds for All Elite.
I don't know. It's a wonder what network that they would be on. I mean, Impact's already jumped down to something called the Pursuit Network or something.
And that's it. I'm not even sure if we get that.
I don't think so. I think it's just not even on.
I've heard of it, but I know that they definitely took a drop in the number of homes that even get that network.
But I
do believe you can also watch it on Twitch. I think it is. It's an app.
Right.
I think Twitch. You can watch it on Twitch. Mm-hmm. Their shows are running on there as well. So, I mean, at least they've covered their bases on that aspect.
But as far as, like, any cable network that wants to air a wrestling show, you don't really have a whole lot that are out there as far as I can see. I mean,
really
you know,
who-
Spike has aired in the past.
Well, Spike is now Paramount. They've kind of
Oh,
steered away
that's
from
right.
that.
They
They've kind
did
of steered
change.
away from that demographic. You know, back then it was what was Spike's tag on it was like television for men, that kind of thing. You know, they've kind of steered away from that. So yeah, where do you go with it?
Could it be like any of the Viacom type networks? I mean, True TV could be one that they could probably put it on, even though, of course, it's wrestling, but that's another argument altogether. Yeah, I have no idea. I have no idea which, and even it's just been so early that we don't know a lot of the things that are in it.
There's still a lot to go.
I mean, the one thing that has come out about, as far as the news or like the rumors for the company, is that they're not really going to hire any writers for their show.
No writing staff as of right now, which I guess is fine depending on who's involved. But when you start bringing some of these bigger names in, I'm sorry, it's pro wrestling. Egos are going to get involved, and you know who's going to decide who goes over.
You can't. I don't think you can do it that way effectively. Like, everybody's going to want to win. Nobody's really going to want to lose. I don't think really anybody wants to lose.
Well, no. I mean, nobody wants to lose going in. I mean, I don't care if it's crucial to the storyline or not, but it's definitely, and like we said, it's really early. It's still early to tell what's going to happen, but I'm interested. You know, I hope they can get a TV deal soon or get something going, because I'd definitely like to check it out.
It's a company that could definitely threaten for the number 2 spot.
I think they have more potential just starting out as being competition than TNA ever did.
Oh, I think the buzz surrounding this company is definitely more than TNA ever was.
TNA's best potential to be number 2 was back in the weekly pay-per-view days.
Yeah.
There was some really great wrestling back then.
And then when they went and got an actual deal with Spike, that was kind of, until they moved to Monday
If you
night,
remember,
of course.
they were on what was it, that Fox Sports South or whatever for a while.
It was Fox Sports Net, yeah.
Yeah, and unfortunately, when you get on TV like that too, there are certain things you can't get away with that you could with like a pay-per-view setting.
I mean,
you know, you've got sponsors to answer.
You had them going this way, going up, and then I think the moment that it all fell apart was when they signed Hulk Hogan.
They tried to move it to Monday night.
And then they did it for Monday night for a little bit, and then
obviously did not do anything close to what they wanted.
It's because when they first came on to Monday night, they brought in all this outside talent that wasn't going to be there for the long haul, you know? And
yeah, exactly.
You can't run a wrestling program, and I know you have to get eyeballs on the program, but you already had eyeballs on the program already. You had these guys who were already making a name for themselves, and now that Hogan came in, he's going to bring all of his buddies, you know.
And it's a proven fact, these guys don't want to not go over.
Right.
They want to be the one going over, and I'm sorry, you've got some of the biggest stars. I mean, you had guys like, at the time, you know, Bobby Roode was still down there, and Eric Young, and I mean,
Styles was there.
Samoa Joe,
yeah.
And all these guys. I mean, these guys.
I mean, this was. I mean, Angle was still on. Was still there.
But I mean, they're the future. They're the future of the business, and you know they need to be made to look good, and that's not always going to happen with some of the people they were bringing in at the time.
Right.
So, but mentioning Hulk Hogan, he did make his appearance. I know the last time we did a show, we talked about the Mean Gene tribute. He did make his appearance on Raw, and I was actually happy with what they did. He came out, he said a few words, and then they showed a really nice montage for Gene Okerlund, and he kind of said some more words and made some comments, but it was nice. Hogan actually sounded good doing that. I was happy with it.
I viewed it on YouTube. So
yeah, what'd you think?
I thought it was well done.
Yeah, I was really surprised all the talent he mentioned. He never mentioned Dusty Rhodes. I mean, Dusty really didn't play a big part back in his era, but I mean, Dusty
there's
was
another
there.
guy that is rumored to want to go over to All Elite, and this made no surprise, Goldust.
Okay, I've wondered what he's been doing because he's been kind of quiet.
He's
lately.
behind the scenes, I think, kind of. They're not really using him or anything.
No.
So if he does ask for his release, I can't see them not granting it.
The problem is, WWE, they're not, now with All Elite making a name for itself and putting itself out there, if these guys are wanting their release, you know where they're going to go, and
Right.
WWE's not going to have that.
Yeah, but at the same time, these are guys that aren't really on the program at all.
Now somebody like Goldust, yeah, I could see that. But your younger guys, if Mike and Maria Kanellis did ask for their release, I don't think they're going to let them go.
I don't see why not. I mean, they're not using. Well, the thing, Marie was on maternity leave.
Yeah, and I mean, Mike Kanellis ended up going to rehab. But it's that kind of thing where, I have a toy that I haven't played with in forever, but you want it, so now I want it. I mean, I hate to say it like that, but think about it.
I think you also have to weigh whether you want to make WWE money or you want to actually be a name, I guess, somewhere that's
it's
lower.
all depending on what you want.
And some people some people are under the impression that the money for All Elite will not be that much different than what they are already making in WWE for some of these people.
That could be because I don't know the person backing them. I mean, he's loaded.
Yeah.
This guy's loaded.
The Khan family is.
Yeah, I mean,
they own a good bit of
high
things.
on like richest people in America scale. I can't remember the exact figures, but I saw it in passing online. I was reading something and it mentioned their net worth or whatever.
But again, it's all going to come down to whether they can get a TV deal and get that going, and then go from there.
But overall, all good things. But
it's encouraging, at least, if you're of the ilk that wants to see competition to make at least WWE better.
Yeah, I mean, if anything, competition will help them. That's the lack of competition is what made them what they are right now, I think. I said that, and you remember that day. I said it the day they bought WCW. There went their competition. Things were going to change, and it hasn't been the same since.
And you have these companies that you want to like, but they'll never be on par with what they have.
Exactly.
And production value is going to be part of it, too.
Absolutely. So, but focusing elsewhere, we have something a little bit closer to home. We've got quite a scandal going on close to home here.
The scandal of local TV versus local TV.
Yeah, I mean, and we are at a stalemate here. For those of you in this area that are hearing us, you are familiar, of course, with what used to be 25 Alive, which is now WDVM. Owned by
Nexstar Broadcasting Group. Nexstar Media Group, I think. They changed that.
And you have Antietam Cable TV, which is now
Antietam Broadband.
For years and years and years and years and years. Again, it was, they called it 25 Alive, but it was Channel 12 for me.
It was, and the call letters were WHAG at that time.
But they switched over to WDVM, and from what I understand, because I have DirecTV, so I mean, I understand they were still on Channel 12.
Yeah.
They showed all your local news, local weather with everyone's favorite in mind, Uncle Lou Scally. I wonder how he feels about all this. But anyway,
I don't think he cares.
He's still getting paid.
Yeah.
But here, as of
that was January 1st.
As of January 1st or December 31st at 11:59 p.m. WDVM is no longer on the Antietam Cable
lineup. Yes. They pulled the plug, and I don't know when it's going to end. It's definitely not ending, I don't think, anytime soon, because apparently Nexstar wanted to I've heard just different things, like either double or triple whatever they were getting.
Yeah, they raised their premium, and it was basically going to cost Antietam Broadband more to carry the channel, which would result into higher cable bills
for everyone.
For us. And that's what it says. If you call Antietam Broadband to customer service or to pay your bill or whatever, that's the first thing you hear before you even get to any of the automated menus. They basically run it down saying that Nexstar has raised their rate, and that would cost the consumer more, and that they are currently trying to get something in place.
And then part of it also is they wanted a multi-year agreement with this. But if you are in the media know as far as like Nexstar and what they're going to purchase for what is rumored, they're trying to buy the Tribune Media holdings, and that would make, if they got them, which it seems likely at least, They would be the largest holder of broadcast networks of anyone over Sinclair or anybody like that. But if they do get Tribune, they get another Washington station, which is WDCW, which is channel 50. And the rules state that you cannot own two networks in the same designated market area. And that would be the case with them getting WDCW and holding WDVM. But they can get around that, from what I've read, if neither of those are in the top four as far as rated in the market area, and neither one is. So there's rumors that they may sell off WDVM if they get the Tribune deal. So it's something to consider as far as Antietam Broadband is concerned.
I mean, I would try to go for it. It would get it back.
Well, I don't think I say about them not wanting to get any deal done, because if you call and you want to get an antenna, they'll give it to you for free while supplies last. And you can get WDVM in that fashion.
Oh, they're giving out the over-the-air antennas. Are they doing that again? They were, because there for a while they were doing it. If you know,
while supplies last.
Yeah, if you had satellite TV and all that, you just took a copy of your bill, and they would provide you with one. That was actually what I was going to say. You can still get it if you're just really fiending for your loose galley fix and your local weather and sports and all that. Then you just get an over-the-air antenna. And if you can't get one from them, they are pretty cheap. I mean, I
mean, Best Buy is like they're selling them for like $30 or $40, I think, maybe even less.
I got one off Amazon at one time that was like $15.
I mean,
Cat destroyed it, but that's
$20 to $40 will probably get you an antenna.
Yeah, you get a really nice antenna for a little bit of nothing. And I mean, you're not just getting the local channels. I mean, those over-the-air antennas can pick up quite a few channels.
But there's a lot of layers in this, I guess, saga. A lot of the complaints from the regarding WDVM is that since they've changed the call letters, they don't air as much Hagerstown and Washington County stories. They've expanded their area. They have a bureau in Culpeper, Virginia, I believe, and they've moved one of their bureaus to Germantown, Maryland, which is an hour away. So they've geared more of their coverage that way because they're on more cable systems down there. So that's an argument that a lot of people have made.
That would encourage me not to watch, because that's the same reason I don't watch the news now.
Because when they lost,
that interested with what's going on in DC.
When they lost their NBC affiliation, they expanded the news programs. They have a program that is solely dedicated to Northern Virginia news, and they have a program that's solely dedicated to news on the I-270, which is Frederick and Montgomery counties. There's not anything on Washington County in there, even though they say we're still committed to Hagerstown and Washington County. I think it would
just a little less committed than we were.
To me, it would be, and they're not on any cable anymore, at least as far as a high definition signal in Pennsylvania. They changed that like I think even 2 years ago. But what I was trying to say is they don't. I would like to see if you go to a news week before they changed the call letters and after they lost the NBC affiliation. So like, you go to a block of news in the week of November 2016 and put that against one in the week of November 2018 and see what how they break it down.
Their area and their coverage range.
Like, do Hagerstown's stories dominate the news still? I mean, they still are covering it, and they're covering it I guess even still now, because I think WDVM has taken a interesting. I guess this is a tactic, like a hit tactics, to where now they're putting on stories. Not all the. I mean, once a day they were at like last week of. Antietam subscriber that is disappointed they can't get the WDVM channel.
Ah, okay. Just
I mean, they had about 2 stories of that, and then with the snow coming, like Antietam subscribers cannot get snow coverage. Like nobody has a smartphone or the internet. You know, I mean, that's kind of. I mean, I know that the elderly people don't.
I mean,
do that, but
there
still.
are a lot of people that tuned in to. I mean, that they look forward that was their local news ad. I mean, I've talked to a few people that are right upset that it's not around anymore.
And you have that portion of the viewing public.
Yeah, they'll always, that'll always be there.
And it's not just. I mean, the complaints aren't just about the perceived lack of coverage since they changed the call letters for the Hagerstown, Washington County area. Another argument is against Antietam Broadband that they are the only cable service in Washington County. And a lot of people are angry because they feel like it's some sort of monopoly because they can't get Verizon or Comcast to come in and have some competition against Antietam.
Which I don't understand how they've managed to monopolize the whole area. I would love to see Comcast down here. I'm not going to lie.
It would certainly put Antietam on their toes, at least.
They would have to step up their game, without a doubt.
And it would be good for the cable, because a lot of people are getting rid of cable altogether.
Oh yeah, you have plenty of cord cutting going on with services like Sling TV and. There's so many DirecTV now.
PlayStation has a kind of a thing.
YouTube has their own YouTube TV.
YouTube TV.
They have their own. Pretty much everybody has a streaming service. Nowadays.
You have Netflix and Hulu. You have enough entertainment avenues out there that if you wanted to go,
can get it a lot cheaper.
Yeah,
it is a lot cheaper than standard cable or standard satellite TV.
It will be interesting to see what the future holds. I guess I think they're going to come to a deal eventually. I don't think they can. It can't last that long. I don't think there's enough antennas that Antietam Cable is going to give out. And the thing is, I mean, if WDVM wants their viewers to see their program, why aren't they giving away antennas?
They're going to give.
They want the money.
It's all about the money.
It is. It really is. I
mean, the whole thing. It's frustrating.
I just don't like how to. I don't like negotiating through the media in that means. No. I mean, if you're going to do it that way, I mean, come on. The viewers are gonna. They're gonna smell the bull when it comes across the TV. Absolutely. I've also seen some. I've seen some Herald Mail employees. And this kind of goes into the Antietam Broadband camp because the Assures Communications owns the Herald Mail and Antietam Broadband, and I've seen some Herald Mail employees shared some of the WDVM stories and say, please put us back on the air. Like they're begging for them to come back to cable because nobody will watch us without it. And it's interesting if you're here. If you're not here, but...
If you're not here, you stopped listening a long time ago. But it's upsetting.
But you may have had a similar situation in your area where a over-the-air channel has had a fight with your local cable company to where they're not airing their programming for at least a short amount of time, and you could be in the same situation.
And you hate it because really it all comes down to money. It's all a money thing. is the bottom line.
Well, I also feel bad for the reporters that are at WDVM to where they have to do these pieces and they don't really have a choice in the matter.
They're doing pieces that nobody can find out about, that nobody in the area is going to see.
I mean, if you're on Antietam Cable, you can't see them because you don't get the channel.
Exactly. It's depressing. It really is.
So, to change subjects, we are at the end of the third quarter in the Chiefs-Patriots game. Patriots added a field goal. They are up 17-7.
So a 10-point lead going into the fourth. The Chiefs really need to step their game up here. I do not want to see the Patriots in the Super Bowl.
Nobody does, unless you're in the New England area or Louisiana.
But not even mention that. But moving on to some lighter fare here. Hollywood has lost their minds, folks. This has just come across the news desk. Hollywood has lost their minds.
Aren't you glad I told you about this?
I am. It's definitely made me smile, especially after the first fiasco football game.
I think the news came out on either Thursday or Friday.
I totally missed this. This is what working does to you.
It's been in the works off and on for years that they're trying to get a Monopoly movie made.
Yes, Monopoly fans.
And now it looks like
we've all played it. Some of us say the game runs too long. Some of us say it's just not long enough.
How long do you think a Monopoly movie should go if it's true to the?
It should be at least a 4-hour movie. Monopoly. There's about 27,000 incarnations of it. I believe there's now a Fortnite Monopoly.
That doesn't make sense to me. No, you're playing a video game.
But, however, yes, they are apparently trying to greenlight.
It's getting like the wheels are turning. The wheels are turning so much that they apparently have signed on a star of the movie. And take a guess at who this is. You probably wouldn't guess unless you actually read the story already. Kevin Hart is involved.
Mr. Monopoly.
In some way, I have to assume that he's probably going to be the star of the movie. So
it's Kevin Hart. How could he not?
He's going to be old Uncle Pennybags.
Well, it's either him or The Rock, and at this point, they're the biggest names in Hollywood right now. It's him or The Rock. So maybe The Rock.
You really consider Kevin Hart one of the biggest names in Hollywood?
I don't know about one of the biggest names, but let's face it, Kevin Hart's out there, man. Kevin Hart's a funny guy. His movies are good.
Well, he wasn't allowed to host the Oscars. I know that.
That was a whole fiasco, too. That's a wtle other thing. But no, I don't know about the biggest name in Hollywood, but Kevin Hart's in a lot of stuff. Kevin Hart's a popular guy. Battleship was bad enough. Did we not learn anything from Battleship the movie?
I never wanted to see Battleship.
Neither did I. I didn't even want to play Battleship. So I definitely didn't want to see the movie.
Can you tell me what the premise of the Battleship movie was?
No, because I never saw it.
You never saw it?
Care. No, but if I have to watch it just to do research, just so I can trash it, I will.
See, if you have a movie that's based on a board game, you have to be true to the board game.
So we here at the 546 Project have put our heads together, and we have come up with other board games that could be made into movies.
Well, they've apparently rumored to have tried to put together a Hungry Hungry Hippos movie, which I don't know how they would do it, but
there was another one also, wasn't there? Did you not mention another one earlier that they were trying to do?
No, I don't think they were. I know that they've done Clue the movie,
Clue was actually pretty good.
Yeah,
and that's a premise that could actually be a decent movie. That's your old-fashioned murder mystery.
I'm all for Girl Talk the movie.
yeah. Carrie wants to see Girl Talk the movie.
Yes, Carrie is here. She's just kind of silent in the background.
Clue is a cool idea because that's a murder mystery. People like
Chiefs just scored a touchdown.
Chiefs touchdown. All right, we're closing the gap. And that's as excited as she gets, folks.
17-13.
17-13. Hey, they're closing the gap. Anything's possible.
But back to the board games.
Yeah, a murder mystery is cool. You've got that. But Battleship the movie, that game would put you to sleep as a kid. Unless it was talking Battleship. I did find that entertaining.
And I would hope that it would be the talking Battleship.
But let's...
Carrier sunk.
Yes, yeah. Carrier hit. But let's think of other classic games that could be made into B movies, if not that subpar B movies. Let's see, Shoots and Ladders, the movie.
You mean D movies?
Yeah, very
They'd be
possible.
direct-to-DVD movies
Yes.
at this point.
Yeah, pretty much on demand.
But I think
Sorry.
sorry.
The movie. That's right.
I think Monopoly's
Sorry,
being
this is
slated
the
to
movie.
be like released in theaters.
Oh yeah. Oh, definitely.
If
Monopoly's
you put
gonna
Kevin
be-
Hart as the Monopoly man,
Oh yeah, he's not there. There's not going to be a direct to video. But we've got
Trouble.
I forgot it. Trouble, and the sequel, Double Trouble. So there you go. I've already got 2 of them banged out right there. Mousetrap, the movie. That's it. God, that game was complicated. Did you play Mousetrap?
I had Mousetrap.
You
yes.
had Mousetrap.
And
That
the fun
was-
of it was just building the Mousetrap.
Well, by the time you
don't
built the
even
game-
you don't even
built
need to
the-
play the game. You just build the Mousetrap and let it go.
Yeah, but after that, 2 or 3 times, it's kind of like, yeah, this is cool, But let's see, we also came up with Parcheesi, the movie.
Yeah.
Operation, the movie.
Operation probably would be the most likely to be a movie, I guess.
Yeah, that's a good medical flick. Who couldn't get behind that? Look at George Clooney to reprise his role from ER in Operation, the movie. Carrie had suggested earlier, Mall Madness, the movie.
Like Risk and Stratego.
Yes, Stratego, the movie.
Checkers, the movie.
And for the overseas market, Chinese Checkers, the movie. The one I came up with, nobody probably remembers this game, but I had it as a kid. This would make a good animated feature. It was called Spider Wars.
Didn't
Basically, the premise of the game was there was a little stand-up plastic web, and you had your spiders. They were only 2-legged spiders, though. It was really weird. But their feet went in little pegs, and each side, one on each side, one on the other, and you had to get your spider across the web and knock the other ones off. It was actually a lot of fun. I did enjoy it. But think about it, you could make that would be a great animated feature. Spider Wars, the movie.
Don't break the ice and don't spill the beans in the movie.
The movie. Ants in the Pants, the movie. It would be awful.
These would all be awful.
Yeah, these would all pretty much be terrible.
There's no really good board game that's a popular board game.
And they would
that
all
just
sweep the Razzies.
yeah.
And I know the one that Kevin would recommend, Crossfire, the movie.
Oh jeez. The TV commercial was a movie enough.
Yes. Yeah, so we just build it from that. If we can just squeeze another hour and a half out of that TV commercial.
But we already came up with what they should include in the Monopoly movie. Let alone where Kevin Hart's character goes to jail and magically he has a get out of jail free card in his pocket.
And he has to take the short line railroad to participate in a beauty contest where he will win second place and $10. Absolutely.
And then the part where he gets charged income tax and he has to figure out what's better to pay, 10% or $200.
And can't you just see him taking a stroll down Ventura Avenue and getting assessed for street repairs? Having to pay all kinds of money for it. Not to mention the electric company and waterworks. Not to mention them,
Right. Chance and Community Chest.
Oh, yes.
The possibilities are just endless, but the product itself may just turn out to be
this
terrible.
is going to be craptastic, folks. This
I've read that it's supposed to start at Baltic Avenue, and he's supposed to go up from there, kind of like the Jeffersons.
He's going to move on up. That's it, to the east side. I can't.
So he's starting in the hood and going up
To
the
Boardwalk.
Hollywood Hills.
Yeah, he's going to move to Boardwalk and just hang out. I can't see anything good coming out of this, folks. Nothing good at all. Let's just do Connect 4, the movie, and be done with it.
Oh, yeah.
I foresee us.
Guess Who, the movie.
Oh, Guess Who, the movie, be great. All the disguises and stuff. That would be perfect.
That could be.
That would be a classic. See, that would be good. That's good movie. That's
one we didn't come up with earlier.
No, that's good. Man, Guess Who, the movie. That'd be great.
Connect 4, the movie.
I just said that.
I didn't even hear it.
She was not listening at all.
Wow. Okay, this is why. Okay, you're not allowed to be here anymore. So this is what we've had to do with our day, folks. Monopoly the movie. Pass. Sadly enough, I'll probably go see it just to see how bad it is.
Yeah, I don't know. I just don't really go to the movies, and just to have Kevin Hart be the Monopoly man, it makes no sense at all.
I'd probably go see it. I admit.
I think there's a lot of people who would want to play the Monopoly Man, like Wilford Brimley, and
Yeah, I mean he's
Who's believable?
yeah, he's believable as the Monopoly Man.
I mean, the first scene in the movie would be him eating Quaker Oats out of his bowl on Baltic Avenue.
On Baltic Avenue, absolutely. You know, and he upgrades his game tokens. Like he has a little dog with him,
and then he gets to where he can get Quaker toasted oatmeal.
That's right. You know, he gets better every
He
time.
has to start off though with knockoff oatmeal if he's on Baltic.
That's true. I mean,
It has to
it's
be
like,
knockoff.
Yeah, the store brand or whatever.
Yeah, it's like,
Wackaroo.
Eventually, he gets to where he can have the ready-made packets.
that's it. See, that's some stuff on like North Carolina and Pacific Avenue and all that. As you get up to the green properties, that's what a good oatmeal is.
Yeah.
But wow, I think that's about it. Where do we go from here?
Well, do you want to talk about our...
Yes, we have to tell you, for those of you who've been paying attention to the video food box, and
which has
it's actually
grown.
been doing pretty well. The one video
we're
up to 300 likes.
About 300 views. I mean,
300
I don't
views.
know.
Which
That
one
could
was
be
it?
that could range from 1 second to like the entirety
Hey,
of
it's
the movie.
still a view, and that was for the
That was for the Wendy's giant junior bacon cheeseburger $5 meal.
which just goes to prove everybody loves Wendy's. How can you not?
I think it's
But-
just because it was like a full meal.
That's right, and it's delicious. I'm sure. I haven't had that exact meal, but Wendy's burgers are some of the best. So
Well, if
we are.
if you want to go ahead and look at the latest review, I reviewed the KFC spicy famous bowl.
which was phenomenal. I wasn't there for it, but I've had it.
Phenomenal in taste and phenomenal in value.
Yeah,
$3
it's delicious.
and you get a trough of food, basically.
Yes, you're getting just fed in a trough. So if you've ever wanted to eat like an animal, go get the spicy
I've seen
bowl.
other reviews where they give them an actual bowl. I haven't gotten a actual bowl. I've either gotten a trough of food or an actual like a square thing of just full of food.
I want to go to your KFC. That's what I'm saying.
I don't know. I guess they just don't. They don't have any bowls, or they're like, well, we're just going to give it to you in this.
That's right here. You just eat out of your barrel. But
That may be the next visit I go there.
But later this year, within a couple months here, we are going to embark on a small mini-series to find out who has the best fish sandwich in the area. Whether of all the fast food restaurants. Every year around Easter time, as is popular for that time of year, all the places really start touting their fish sandwich. So we are going to cover the bases from everywhere, from McDonald's to Wendy's and beyond, for the fish sandwich to see
McDonald's
who
is
has.
going to be the worst, I think.
Nathan is a hater of the Filet-O-Fish sandwich.
Filet-O-Fish is lame. It's absolutely lame.
Yeah, well, I like the Filet-O-Fish sandwich with its slice of cheese.
The fish is crap, and they don't really make it all that good. I think it's the worst sandwich on a fast food anywhere.
Wow.
Anywhere. But for the sake of the series, I will keep an open mind.
For the good of the show.
Depending on what other fish sandwiches we get. I mean, Burger King has one that we know. Wendy's had one.
They usually bring it out every year. One of the early favorites,
Arby's.
I will say, is Arby's spicy fish sandwich. It is
The
delicious.
fish, I think deluxe or
something
I don't
like
even
that,
know.
but it's very good.
Checkers probably.
Checkers will have. I think they have one.
Yeah, they have one. I'm sure Sonic may have
Sonic
something.
may.
Hardee's may do something.
They may do something.
So I mean, we're gonna let you know though where to get the best fish sandwich in the area.
You think like Subway will have something like that?
No, they never have. Closest you're getting to seafood and fish at Subway is the
seafood
salad.
sensation.
Yeah, we're not.
Or the tuna.
Yeah, or the tuna. That's not in the running.
No.
So, but
No, it's got to be a fish.
Yeah, an actual fish
like
sandwich.
a breaded fish sandwich.
Yeah. So
I don't know of any other places that are around here that would, but nonetheless,
we'll run the gamut and see.
in a few months we will have our
Yes, it's the video food box mini series to crown the best to find out who is the best fish sandwich in the area.
to catch a winner.
Yes.
instead of To Catch a Predator,
Yes.
which will.
I mean, hey, maybe we'll catch one of those along the way too.
Gosh, I don't want any Predators.
That's another miniseries. But well, since we're talking about it, you want to go ahead and plug how to find the Video Food Box?
Yes, our YouTube channel. Just search for the 546 Project and you'll find us there. And if you subscribe, it would be much appreciated. And you can catch up on like the 34 other videos that you have not seen.
I mean, he's got everything from donuts to dark chocolate Oreos, folks. It's definitely a lot of fun. Check it out.
Yeah, it's harder to I mean, once you like do a episode like of things that come out are slim to none at certain points.
Yeah,
and then you're just kind of like, I wonder this will be good or whatever. I mean, I know it could be. They've announced this new one from Burger King, the Big King XL, which is supposed to be a half-pound burger, and it's supposed to be like a Big Mac without the middle bun.
That may be something to
It's
check
something
out
we'd have.
within the next
I don't even know. I don't think I could do that myself. I wouldn't want to.
You can't eat a sandwich that
I
big? Is that what you're
can,
saying?
but it'd be better if it was divided amongst
Well, maybe we
a couple
can.
people.
Maybe we can try that next weekend or something. Maybe
we'll see.
We can make a thing out of that.
Yeah, and,
See where we stand with that.
but I don't know if we'd want to try the Little Caesars pretzel crust. I've already had it.
I didn't
so
like
you
it the
can't
first
really
time.
even.
No, salt does not belong on a pretzel crust on a pizza. I'm sorry. I know classic pretzel with salt. Yes, salt on a pizza crust. No.
I didn't like the cheese sauce myself.
Yeah, it didn't need. I mean, you could have still put regular pizza sauce on there and been okay.
They should have made a pretzel crust pizza that had cinnamon sugar and caramel sauce.
Oh, with the pepperonis and all, and of course, that would have just ended up in the garbage. Yeah,
Would have been better than cheese sauce. I think.
Oh, that just sounds awful. Well, before we
Look at this. Celebrity Big Brother. And Eva Marie's on this.
yes, but other than that, it's
Tom
terrible.
Green, Ricky Williams. I mean, Joey Lawrence.
Well,
And Kato Kalin is on there too. Really? Kato Kalin? He's
and if you
known.
weren't-
You
and
know
if
what?
you weren't alive
you know,
before 1995, you do not know who Kato Kalin is.
Yes, you don't.
What do you think?
Kato Kalin is famous for being there.
Yeah, pretty
That's
much.
about it.
He's famous for aiding and
For
abetting.
knowing a crime has supposedly they as far as the court
Someone
of
who-
law
for someone
no.
who may or may not have killed their family or killed their wife.
He witnessed, I mean, as far as hearing a crime being committed, but he obviously didn't see who did it.
So he's famous for doing nothing.
That.
Yeah, he's famous.
He
for
was
nothing.
famous. I mean, he was famous in the 90s, and now it's 2019, and apparently he's on Celebrity Big Brother.
Some of these people you're seeing, and it's like, wow, they're still alive. So that's going to do it. You want to plug the various other forms of...
Do I want to plug the ill-fated American Pie giveaway that no one has emailed as of yet?
I can't believe it. You all still can't send a freaking email. We're not asking you to do jumping jacks, people. Send
Second
an
email, brand new used copy.
That's right. The
Of-
finest and brand new used products
of
here,
American
folks.
Pie. Just email the 546project@gmail.com. And if you're the second email we get, you'll get American Pie.
That's right.
Who doesn't like American Pie?
I mean, that's, what more could you ask for?
Drove my Chevy to the levee, but the levee was dry.
That's it.
That's not even in the.
Nothing to do with the movie, but it rhymes and it works.
Yeah, Don McLean sang
right.
that song, right?
That's right. Absolutely. Very good. Yes. All about the day the music died.
Yep.
And apparently the contest died too. But
I think the contest died when I opened my mouth the first time.
I don't think it ever
But
lived. I don't
if
think
you
it ever lived.
no, it never it never lived. But it lives if you are the second person that is listening to this to email the 546project@gmail.com.
See, I like to think that the problem is that everybody's sending emails at the same time.
And it's
blocking
flooding the servers.
That's right.
You said
The
that. You
servers-
actually said that the last
I did,
time.
and I'm still sticking with it. So.
Okay. Our Twitter handle is the_546_project. Facebook page, just search for the 546 Project. You'll find us on there. And the podcast website that you're probably listening to this very episode on is the 546 Project, 30 minutes or less, .libsyn.com. And you can find us on iTunes and Google Play Music.
And with all that being said, that's going to do it. We're going to get back to the end of this championship
Which
game.
what happened here?
We have an update.
I don't know what the Chiefs just took it in the end zone. I don't know if it's going to be a touchdown or not. There's a little bit of confusion here.
But we are going to leave you in suspense.
We're going to leave you in suspense because I don't know what just happened because we have the TV muted and we can only see what's going on.
Yeah, so we're going to check this out. You all, thank you for joining us.
Until next time.
Take care, everyone.
See ya.